In the world of celebrity relationships, image is everything. And while public appearances often show glitz, glam, and couple goals energy, the truth behind the scenes can tell a much different story. Right now, it looks like things are far from perfect in the world of Simmons and Yo Gotti. Despite months of appearing like one of the most solid couples in hip-hop culture, the recent actions of Gotti, particularly his decision to hire legal representation to assist CMG artist GloRilla, have reportedly caused major friction behind the scenes. According to sources close to the situation, Angela is furious. Not because Gotti supported his artist, but because of how fast, how quietly, and how decisively he acted for someone else, while allegedly dragging his feet when it comes to the issues that matter in their own relationship. And now, fans are asking the tough questions. Is Gotti prioritizing his label over his love life? Is Angela right to feel disrespected? And could this incident be the breaking point in a relationship that many thought was built to last? Let's break down exactly what happened, why Angela is calling Gotti out, and what this could mean for the future of one of hip-hop's most talked-about couples. The story begins with GloRilla, one of the brightest stars signed to Yo Gotti's CMG collective music group label. Known for her gritty Memphis flow and viral rise to fame, GloRilla has been one of the most visible female rappers of the last 2 years. But recently, the headlines shifted from her music to her legal status. Though the full details remain cloudy, what's been confirmed is that GloRilla found herself entangled in some serious legal trouble, an arrest or detainment tied to a still-developing case. What shocked many wasn't just the incident itself, it was how quickly Yo Gotti moved to shield her from the fallout. Within hours, reports began circulating that Gotti had secured high-profile legal counsel on GloRilla's behalf, ensuring she would be released swiftly and that her reputation wouldn't take a prolonged hit. For some, it was seen as the ultimate act of label loyalty, a boss protecting his artist. But for others, especially those close to Simmons, it was a moment that revealed a glaring contradiction. Yo Gotti seemed to move faster for his business associates than he ever had for his own relationship. While Gotti's actions may have looked noble on the outside, behind the scenes, they caused a major emotional blow. Simmons, who has been publicly dating Yo Gotti since early 2023, reportedly felt blindsided by how swiftly he jumped into crisis mode for GloRilla. According to sources close to Angela, she was already feeling overlooked in the relationship, dealing with a partner who, though supportive in public, often lacked emotional availability and presence in private. The GloRilla incident seemed to confirm everything Angela had been quietly struggling with. The moment she learned about Gotti's involvement in getting legal help for his artist, something in her snapped. Insiders claim Angela confronted him with a direct and cutting line. "So you can lawyer up for Glo in 2 hours, but I'm still waiting on you to show up for us." That one sentence captures the raw emotion behind the scenes. To Angela, this wasn't just about GloRilla, it was about feeling like she's always waiting. Waiting for Gotti to prioritize her. Waiting for emotional follow-through. Waiting to feel like she's not playing second to the CMG empire he's building. When your man moves heaven and earth for someone else, and you feel like you're constantly placed on hold, it starts to chip away at your peace, your self-worth, and your patience. Let's make one thing clear. Simmons has no beef with GloRilla. There's no indication of jealousy or competition. In fact, Angela has built her own legacy, one that predates her relationship with Gotti by over a decade. She's a businesswoman, a mother, and someone who's weathered personal tragedies with strength and grace. But the issue here isn't about Glo, it's about priorities. About a woman feeling like she constantly watches her man pour urgency and attention into everything and everyone but her. For Angela, this wasn't an isolated incident. It was a pattern. When someone repeatedly shows up with fire and energy for others but shows up late or not at all for you, it begins to feel like a betrayal. The optics matter, especially in the public eye. Especially when the world is watching and assuming you're a top priority, but behind closed doors, you're barely getting eye contact. This goes beyond music and celebrity. It speaks to the dynamic many women face. Emotionally investing in a relationship where they are expected to be patient, understanding, and low maintenance, while their partner becomes everything to everyone else. It's exhausting, and Angela, after being silent for so long, may have finally reached her breaking point. As the rumors of Angela's fury spread online, social media exploded with reactions. Some fans came to her defense immediately, calling out Gotti for being emotionally inconsistent and applauding Angela for speaking up. One user wrote, Angela been too classy. Gotti thinks a couple Instagram pictures makes up for emotional neglect. She deserves better. Another said, y'all think it's cute that Gotti helps GloRilla fast, but if your band did that for another woman and never made you feel protected, how would you feel? Still, there was pushback. Some argued that Yo Gotti was simply being a label head, doing what needed to be done to protect his investment and brand. They pointed out that GloRilla is not just an artist. She's a business asset, and legal problems can derail momentum, tours, and public perception. That argument may hold weight on paper, but relationships don't exist on paper. They exist in real time, real emotion, and real accountability. Angela doesn't need legal representation, she needs emotional presence. She needs Gotti to show up with the same fire for them that he does for his artists. Interestingly, GloRilla herself has stayed quiet throughout the situation. She hasn't made any public statements about Yo Gotti's help, and she definitely hasn't addressed the alleged tension between Gotti and Angela. Some fans think she's simply avoiding unnecessary drama, and honestly, that might be the smartest move. This isn't her battle. She didn't ask to be caught in the crossfire between her label boss and his girlfriend. But her name being attached to it, even indirectly, has certainly added fuel to the fire. Behind the scenes, CMG reportedly wants to keep everything under control, with insiders saying they're trying to avoid any public blowback that could disrupt the label's brand. But here's the thing, public silence doesn't erase private damage. And whether or not GloRilla speaks, the emotional impact on Angela remains very real. So where do Angela and Yo Gotti go from here? This situation has exposed a fracture in their relationship, one that's deeper than a disagreement. It's a reflection of emotional imbalance, of one partner feeling unseen and the other potentially unaware of the damage being done. Angela is not a woman who tolerates disrespect, and she certainly doesn't need anyone to complete her. She chose Gotti because she believed in the connection they had, but now she's questioning whether that connection is truly a priority in his life or just a part-time role he plays between business deals. For Yo Gotti, this might be the moment where he has to decide. Does he want to keep living in boss mode, or does he want to step up in partner mode? Because you can't build an empire with someone if you treat them like an option while acting like a savior to everyone else. At the end of the day, this isn't just about Yo Gotti, GloRilla, and Angela Simmons. This is about how relationships are impacted by power, fame, and misplaced priorities. It's about how Black women in particular are often expected to hold it down, stay quiet, and accept crumbs of attention while their partners shine everywhere else. Angela's decision to speak up, whether publicly or privately, is important. She's reminding the world that being strong doesn't mean being silent, and that even in high-profile relationships, emotional accountability still matters. This is a wake-up call, not just for Gotti, but for every man who's ever made his woman feel like she has to compete with his hustle for attention. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think Angela Simmons was right to be upset about Gotti's actions? Was he just doing his job as a label boss, or did he cross a line by jumping into legal crisis mode for GloRilla while allegedly neglecting his relationship? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter in this developing story. You already know, it's never just drama. It's culture. It's accountability, and it's real. We'll keep watching, and we'll keep you posted.